Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to assemble this Hackheld Vega. I actually already started. I forgot I should have been recording this. But anyways, it comes with these. I don't know what they're called because I didn't take solder classes that teach the proper names and stuff. I just figured out how to do this stuff. Anyways, you can see you have these, basically these post thingies. I put the shorter ones up this way. The reason I did that because if you use the longer ones that way, you'd have to, we have to cut all of these. You see these? They're really long. And if I stick them up this way while you're cutting, you have all these little components that are in the way, and you don't want to risk cutting these components or damaging them. It's a lot easier to cut these that are just like sticking out from this flat surface here. So that's why it's better to actually solder it that way. Okay, we also put this in here. I believe this is a resistor, okay? And yeah, so I don't know if it came separate, but it was already like that. I think the customer brought it already in there, and then these legs are just folded over to make it so it stays in place. We are gonna have to solder those in as well. To make it easier, I use some solder paste to kind of start it, but basically you get this piece sandwiched in between. You stick that on top. If you look online, you'll see a bunch of videos showing this, I believe. But anyways, I put a little bit of the solder paste on the first one here on each corner, and then that way I just melted that little paste there, and then after that it holds these in place. After you do that, you can kind of check by kind of pulling this up and see if it just pulls these out, and if it does, then you're good. You can push this back down, and then I held this down and again soldered the four corners. That way it holds itself completely together. You can see it's not going anywhere. Okay. After that, I soldered all these little things in place. It's a little tricky just because of all these little components all around it. But let me show you here. I zoomed in. Let me zoom in so I can show you. Basically, I hold it to one side here, making sure not to touch any of the components around. And then you just get the solder, which I'll show you on the other side. But basically, you get the solder and then you push it into the thing. They actually include this little card here that kind of shows you how to solder and stuff. You can see here, all right. Heat the part and the pad 2 to 3 seconds, and then add solder. Okay, you can see it will form like that. And there you go. You can see it's perfect if it's like that. If it's completely covered the post, it's too much. If it's not completely all around, then you don't have enough. And then you can see if there's a cold joint that it didn't stick to the bottom there. If you put too much heat, it comes like that, and then you don't want them to stick together to another one because then it shorts. They actually show you here as well to basically heat both sides. So it shows you want to make sure it's touching both, not just the bottom and not just the pin. You want it to touch the pad and the pin, all right? And then here it says heat both contacts simultaneously, like that, all right? Also, it helps to add a bit of the tin to the tip. So you can put a little of the solder on there because it helps transfer the heat when that liquid metal touches the two surfaces. All right, so that's kind of just telling you how to solder. All right, so anyways, we got this already done. You can see they're like that, okay? And you want to make sure you got solder all the way around on both sides. All right, it's a little hard to see with the lighting here. I might add a little more to these two here because it doesn't have quite as much, but it is all the way around. The lighting makes it a little bit difficult to see, but let me double check with the lighting. Actually, it's okay. Yeah, these two kind of need a tiny bit more, so I'll kind of show you. We're gonna put a little bit more on those. Okay, so we got the solder here. I just like to hold it like this, okay, and I have the whole little container, and basically gonna heat this, and as we're heating this, we'll just add some solder to the back. Okay. Why isn't this one melting? Come on. There we go. All right. Then we'll double check again. looks better. I'm gonna melt the other one a little bit more just because it formed weird. Okay. It's kind of almost turning into that ball that we don't want. There we go. Also, it helps to wipe off the tip of the soldering iron. It was turning kind of all dark. Okay, I don't know, hopefully I'm not, it's hard to tell if I'm getting this in view of the camera. If I'm not in view of the camera, I'm sorry. Hopefully you guys were able to see. Okay. Just make sure they're all in place. Okay, looks good. All right, so now we're gonna go and do the bottom. All right, I already started doing this way earlier. You can see all these pins are sticking up, so we're gonna have to cut those shorter because they're gonna get in the way. So I'm gonna zoom out here. Right, I don't know what I did with my other set of all my cutters and pliers and everything. They disappeared. I must have put them in somewhere, I don't know. But anyways, we're gonna cut all of these short, okay? So we'll just cut these one by one. Oh, they're gonna fly all over the place. I gotta hold on to them. Okay, I don't want these little metal things all over my desk, so I gotta be careful. Ouch. Okay. We're just gonna cut all of these off. You don't want to cut it completely flush, okay? Now it's like shooting into my finger there. You don't want it completely flush. You do want it to stick up a little. As you can see, I'm cutting it and you can still see it's sticking up, okay? That's what you want because you want the solder to have something to stick to that's above the surface. Maybe I should actually hold this with those pliers so I don't hurt myself. No, that's harder. Okay, I'm just gonna keep having it stab me as I cut all these. Ouch. It like shoots out into my finger. Okay, we're cutting all these little pins off. Hopefully you're able to see what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it in view of the camera. Okay. Ouch. It's gonna make me bleed. Ow. Some of these hurt really bad. Trying to cut these off. Like really shoots into my finger. Ouch. Okay. Ouch. Last one. Ouch. Alright, so there we go. We got all those little pins cut off. We'll toss that. Okay. Now we gotta solder all of these. I'm actually also gonna solder these little pins down here. Okay. So let me go ahead and clean off the soldering iron real quick. And hopefully you'll be able to see. I'm gonna try and zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so you can see here. All right. So, I mean, if you already know how to solder, obviously you don't need to watch my video. But here we go. Basically heat both pieces here, and then you just push the solder into it, just like that. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with this side. I need to rotate it so it's easier. Oh, did one of those pins actually fall onto it? Oop. One of the chopped off pins fell onto it. Come on, get out. There we go. I don't want to accidentally solder that onto it. That wouldn't be good. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let's go again. We'll put that there. Again, we're gonna heat this up. You want to heat both the wire and the circle, and then you just push the solder onto it. Ooh. It's a little tricky, hopefully. Okay, there we go. So hopefully it's good now. Get that solder in. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. Okay, then we double check the solder and it looks good. Okay, so now we gotta cut this excess off. So I'm gonna lift this up and I'm gonna cut that off, okay? Go. Okay, looks good. If you want, you can heat it up a little again. Since we folded it over, it should be like a hook. Oops, sorry. And it will actually keep that stuff in place. All right, there we go. Got that. Next, we're gonna have to solder all of these into place. So since we already soldered the other side, it's gonna hold itself well. You just gotta heat it and then push the solder into it. Okay, so heat that and then push the solder onto it. Heat that, push the solder onto it. Okay, just like that. Hopefully it's clear enough for you guys. And then I'll go over it again one more time. I'll look close up and make sure that it's all soldered well. Come on. Why isn't this one melting? Come on. There we go. And this one. All right, let's take a closer look. And sorry, I'm gonna look at it first because it's hard to do it while trying to make sure it's in view of the camera. Heat this up again, make sure it's good. Good. Okay, that one needed a little more heating. Good. Alright, and they look good. Accidentally, this looks kind of burnt looking. Hopefully it's okay. Alright, now we're going to do this side. Clean off the excess again. Okay, we'll lower it a little. Maybe the temperature's a bit high. Okay, let's go ahead and do these. I'm doing this at around 375 Celsius. It was at around close to 400 earlier. Hopefully you're able to see. one. Okay, and then let me double check it again. Definitely is going to need a little more heat on them to fix. No, these actually look okay. This one of them needs a little more here. All right, those all look good. Okay, next thing we got all the little buttons. We also have the screen. So this screen goes on top this way. So it actually goes like that. All right, and it's gonna go on that way, just like this. So this will attach like that. Okay, sorry, it's hard to see. Let me zoom out a little. You get the idea. We're basically going to do the same thing on all the rest. Okay, and again, to make it easier, I can use this, but let's see, should I put this first or the buttons? Maybe I'll do the buttons and stuff first, because that seems like it might be more difficult. Okay, so this thing here, you can see is for the LED, and there's a little arrow. So this actually also has a little white arrow, so you want that arrow in the same spot. So, okay. The other, I watched some video, they don't really talk or say anything, so it's like, how do you know what goes where? They don't say anything. And you kind of have to just know. So I'm gonna hold this down. This is gonna be tough because I'm gonna hold this down with my thumb. I'm gonna cheat because I have the solder paste. Usually people don't have this, but this makes it way easier. So I'm gonna put some solder paste there. And then I'm actually gonna just heat that up and it should stick and hold it in place. Right? So we're gonna, hopefully the wire won't get in the way. It's getting hot through the thing. Okay, I don't think there's any solder on these pads already, but let me see. Yeah, no, there's no solder on there. So I'm going to use the paste because it's way easier than using the wire. And I don't have to apply as much heat. Okay, so we're going to heat this and solder that. Okay, go. All right, so you can see that. Looks good. I'm gonna clean this stuff up as well with a little isopropyl alcohol. I'm gonna add a little more to this because I feel it needs more solder, and hopefully you guys are able to see. Okay, flip it over. I'm left-handed, so that's why I'm doing it this way. I don't know if you guys are wondering. And I probably actually should have only done one at a time because the heat will make that stuff liquid and move around. Oops, sorry, the wire's getting in the way. And actually, once I use that and melt it, I can actually melt it on this way. Let's see if I can do it. Okay. Oh, oops. Flip it over. Do this side. should be good. There's a little bit too much on this one now, so let me try and clean that off. There's too much solder stuck to this. Okay. There we go. Go. All right, we got all these little buttons that we're gonna have to put in. It doesn't say if there's any specific way these buttons go. I don't think there is. Because basically it's just shorting the connection inside. So we're just gonna push them in. I don't think there's any specific way it needs to go, is there? There's like some lettering inside, SXY1 or something. I'll just put it so it's kind of right side up. Let's see what this one is. This one says SXY69. Put that. This one says SXY57. Yeah, there's no specific. We're just going to put all the buttons in there. SXY7 or A7. Oops. Or is it XS? I don't know. No, it's SX, sorry. Because the number can't be upside down. Okay, so there we go. We got all these guys in there. This one is SX55. Do these go in differently? Huh. Okay. I wonder if they're different because if you look at this, these have the copper going sideways, right? And then these ones, the copper's going vertical. So I'm going to rotate it this way and then put in the thing. So that way the SX is facing towards the other buttons. Okay. Put that in. And SXA21. Yeah, it's all just random. I don't know what the numbers and stuff are. Probably the batch model numbers or something. Okay, so get those in. They have like little spring legs to help hold them in place. All right, and then they're just like that. And now we need to solder all of those in, obviously. Oops, I got some of that. All right, so now we got to get these in. The buttons all hold themselves in place, so we just have to solder it. Okay, let me dump the little solder stuff out of my sponge. There we go. Okay. All right, let's solder all these. Same thing, just heat it from the back and then add solder. Okay. Come on, heat up. There we go. And obviously you want to be in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to breathe in all this solder smoke, flux smoke. There's a lot of pins here, so make sure you got them all. After you're done, make sure to do a quick look over. Oops, am I going out of view again? Okay, just solder all these. Stay in view. Okay, now let me double check all the connections here. Okay, that one looks good. This one needs a little more. Okay, looks good. These need more. Okay. Oh, these are all gonna need more. Okay, looks good. Oh, they all look like they need more. Dang. Let me just top them all up, I guess. They're all gonna need more. This one looks kind of okay. Definitely needs more. Sorry if I'm going out of view. Okay, I think these are good for the most part. Alright, this one got way too much now. Alright, let's take a quick look again. This one got some burnt stuff on it. Okay, looks all good. Okay, next or last, we got the screen. That already has the thing soldered on. So this just goes in there. Okay, I'm going to try and keep it flat as possible. And I'm going to use some of the solder paste again to make it easier. Okay, try to keep it flat, and we're going to solder that in. Perfect. Let's rotate this and do the other side. Oh, it's actually still wiggling all over the place. Okay, that one actually didn't solder in yet. Let's do this now. Actually, good thing it didn't solder in yet. I'm gonna clean this up real quick with a little isopropyl alcohol. I have a little drip bottle here. I'm gonna use that. Get some isopropyl alcohol in there. Okay, And we'll use a paper towel and we'll just kind of clean this up a little. It also helps to use like you can also use like a toothbrush on it. It works well. Okay, clean that up. Got that cleaned up, and we'll just brush off the junk that's stuck there. Okay. Put some isopropyl alcohol in there again. Mop it up a little. Go. Brush off that excess yucky gunk. And a little bit on the LED here. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and get the screen in. The customer's probably like, is it done yet? This is taking a lot longer than expected. Okay, let's go ahead and get solder flux, the solder paste into there. And then we'll heat that up. Oh, that's gonna burn me. I need to make sure not to grab onto that pin. Ooh, I touched the pin. Ouch. But it is soldered on now, so that's good. Okay, let's get this one on as well. I completely forgot. Rookie mistake. All right, heat up that one. All right, should be good. Let's go ahead and solder them with the actual solder now, with the solder wire or whatever you call it. Okay, heat it up and push the solder into it. Alright, next ones. Not much room to solder on these. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is snip those off right now that we got it holding on. Okay, because these are way too long, as you can see. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold it and we're going to snip it. It's going to hurt my finger. Ow. Okay. Ow. Ow. And the last one here. Ow. Okay. There we go. Make sure to get rid of these pins. Alright, and let's finish soldering these in. Hopefully everything is good. It seems a little bit crooked here. It's going to be annoying. I'm assuming this goes on top. It's going to be something like that, right? Yeah, this is a bit crooked, so I'm going to have to see if I can realign it somehow, which is annoying. Okay. Okay. Let's see, is that centered? It's more centered now. I think that should be good. Okay, let's go ahead now and solder these in. Do the middle ones actually. And let's take a look. Actually, it doesn't look like there's enough. Alright, I think we're good to go. We just gotta assemble the box now. So that looks good. Let me actually fix the little bit up here. Okay. Alright, that looks good. Okay, so we just now gotta clean all this up and then assemble the little box. And we're good to go. I'll leave the tin tipped, or the tip tinned, sorry. Alright, there we go. We gotta clean off the little bit of grossness there as well. Okay. Wipe that gunk out if we can. It's kind of like trapped behind there, so it's a little tricky, but there we go. Clean that. Okay. Clean up all around the little pins here. We're going to put some isopropyl alcohol on it and just brush it to help clean it up. Oh, there's a lot of it. Okay. There we go. Let's clean it all around. I need a cloth that doesn't tear so easily here. It's just gonna have that kind of greasy look to it. Okay, there we go. Let's reassemble, or let's assemble this thing. So this has this little hole here. That's for that button and that, I'm pretty sure. Goes like that. We're gonna peel this thingy off, and then this goes on top this way. Wait, what? Oh, this way. I think he's missing pieces because that's not, so it's gonna look like that. Yeah, I think they're missing something, because I would assume you'd want something to cover the screen. Anyways, let's screw this thing back together, or screw it together for the first time. Okay, I hope they're not like, where are you, hurry up, because I'm using my phone to record. Alright, let's get this all back together. Okay, make sure it's good. And the last one here. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Just tighten it all down and I think we're good to go. Handheld Vega 2. That's what this thing is called. I didn't know what it was called. And this thing doesn't even have like threads for the screws, so it just twists non-stop, apparently. Yeah, apparently it just twist nonstop. So don't twist it too much. You don't want to damage the threads of this thing. Okay, and there we go. We have the handheld Vega 2. Let's stick this thing on there. It's all dirty now, but okay. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Hopefully it helped you assemble your handheld Vega 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Let's actually take that out because it looks gross. All right, but there we go. All right, let's drop this. Bye. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part because I know somebody's going to complain and go, you didn't show it works. All right, so I have this little battery. We're going to plug it in. This doesn't have a battery in it, so it needs to be plugged in. All right, and then you got these buttons, obviously. So let's show you. So you can see down works, up works, press A, it scans. I can press B to go back. I don't know where I would use left and right for, but when would you ever use left and right? I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know when you would use left and right. Clock, maybe? Set clock. Okay, let's try this. Left and right doesn't do anything. I don't know what the left and right are going to be used for, but you can see it works. So that's pretty much it. Again, if you unplug it, it shuts off. It needs power. It doesn't have a battery built in. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.